Okay, so hopefully you guys got through your 5 minutes. So what I did the same thing. I'm reading this book called On Show, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly, by this woman, Una Min Kavanagh. I'll tell you a little bit more about it on the next slide, but I read 7 pages in 5 minutes. So if I divide 7 by 5, I get 1.4. Right? You might get a decimal, right? You might get 0 point something. You can use a calculator. You don't have to do this in your head. But that tells you how many pages you can read in a minute, or how much of a page you can read in a minute. Again, your reading rate is going to be different for every book, right? So you might have some books where you can read like 3 pages a minute, and you might have other books where you're reading less than a page a minute. If you're using a lot of reading strategies, that might slow you down, but it might still be really good. So I don't want you guys to read too much into this number, but I just want you to have it. So once you have it, then you have to make a plan, right? So today we're going to, in honor of World Book Day, we're going to spend a half an hour of our time just reading, right? So if I take 1.4 pages and I multiply it by 30 minutes, which is the time that we're going to read today, then my goal today is to try to read 42 pages, right? That seems like a lot. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to have a focused 30 minutes at home, but that's going to be my goal. So I'm going to count 42 pages from where I am. Right now I'm on page 49. So if I add 42 to it, I'm going to put a little bookmark there, and that's going to be my goal. And just like a side note, I think I have about 140 pages left, including my goal today. I think it should take me about 100 minutes then if I multiply that by 1.4, right? So if I can find 100 minutes over the next couple of days, I might be able to finish this book. Right? So you guys go ahead and make a plan. The last video is going to be some recommendations for, well, actually, let's just go and do that now. One thing that was really cool is some of you guys have been messaging me. Oren was one person who recommended this great book to me, Goodnight, Mr. Tom. It's a little older. It's very sad. It's a historical fiction set in England during World War II, and it's just a really good tearjerker. So if you're looking for something to read, that might be something. Oren and I have both read it by now. At this point, he can tell you more about it too. That's a great book recommendation. Or you might talk to another friend, right? You might get a recommendation from a friend for a book to read. Or sometimes people will recommend books on social media. So maybe if you're following somebody, they might have a picture of a book that they've been reading. Depends on who you follow, I guess. Actually, Una Min Kavanagh, this is a video of her speaking Irish. Hang on. Okay, so that's just, so her job is actually kind of helping to program video games in Irish. That's how she makes money or makes a living. So it's kind of cool. So she has already the social media presence, and that's how she ended up writing a book. Is she was kind of sharing some of her experiences on social media, and then that got turned into a book. So you never know where you might find a really good book recommendation. It might come from a source that you didn't think would be a good source for books, but maybe you might find that one of your favorite gamers actually has some great recommendations for books to read. You could also use BorrowBox. I know we've mentioned that at different times throughout the year. You can rent a book from the library that way. I would also recommend that you try a different genre, right? So if you're usually reading graphic novels, maybe try something a little bit different. Try a novel, try some poetry. If you've never read a play before, they're usually pretty quick reads, so you might try look for some plays. If you need any recommendations, get in touch with me or get in touch with one of your classmates and see what we're reading, and maybe we can make some suggestions for you. So I hope you guys enjoy World Book Day. Your goal today is just to read for 30 minutes, and then you have a couple of tasks to do online. So go ahead and enjoy that. I'm going to give you guys a little bit longer to do both the classwork and the homework, because you might have to. I know you guys have kind of busy schedules, right? So trying to find a block of time to read for 30 minutes, you might not end up having it when you think you're going to have it. So I'll give you the whole week